And as a young man, he was summoned to the wars. Spent his best years with blood on his hands.
Hey guys, it's HomoMoto, and I got some bad news today. It's not that I'm not going to be able to go to the Atlanta meet, because I'm doing that if I have to go in the ambulance. But I did find out today that my check hadn't hit the bank. When I say my check, I mean my check from my HR at work. I've been on short-term disability since December. About the time I started riding. Well, I started my channel. I didn't start riding for a couple months after that. But what happened, you guys probably saw the heart attack videos and whatnot. I did have a major cardiac event that was like a minor heart attack. But that's not what caused the damage. What caused the damage was congestive heart failure. I've got a pretty significant congestive heart failure, which I'm dealing with. But unfortunately, other than sitting on my rear, watching TV, riding this bike, driving my car, I can't do a whole lot. I get winded fairly easily. I can't walk very far at a time. I have to stop and take little breaks. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but it is what it is. But anyway, my check hadn't hit the bank, so I called my HR. And they told me that my cardiologist has not responded to their request for information. And I told them, I says, look, I know my family doctor has submitted all kinds of paperwork and it should be sufficient. They said, well, one of the things that your one of the things your family doctor said was, quote unquote, a disability was heart issues. So because of that, we have to have something from your cardiologist. Let me tell you about this cardiologist without mentioning her name. This cardiologist first told me that I had significant problems. I had significant congestive heart failure. And something called bikelife, that's where your electrical part of your heart beats at one rate, but your blood actually comes, your pulse and your blood is pumped through at a different rate. For example, in my case, my heart rate was 80, but my pulse was 40. And the reason my pulse was 40 is because my body's only pushing through about half the blood that the electrical part of my heart is telling it to push. That's not good, guys. That's actually pretty serious. A lot of people deal with this. It's not that problem, or not that big of a problem for them, but some cases like mine are very symptomatic. And one of the things that happened as a result of such was congestive heart failure, which one could have caused the other one, and she said it could have went one way or the other, either way. But regardless, I'm too sick to have the surgery, but they say I'm well enough to go back to work on restrictions. Here's the problem. My workplace doesn't allow restricted duty. You either come back full-fledged or you don't come back at all. And that's the way they've always been. And one of the restrictions is I have to have a cane, because I do get a stumbly, and I have been known to pass out. I mean, my heart's bad. So since I can't have my cane, and I'm supposed to return to work with restrictions, I don't see how I'm going to do that. They're not going to let me do that. So I'm too sick to go back to work. I'm too sick to have the surgery, but I'm not sick enough to continue my disability payments based on what they have. This is one of those true situations where you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. I really don't know what to do right now. I had a little bit of a savings, and since I've been on disability, the paychecks haven't equaled what I was making, so I've been having to use my savings to make up the difference. And I do have enough savings left that if I would have continued being paid, that my savings would have covered me for about 6 to 8 months. The problem is, with no income at all, the savings isn't going to cover but a couple months. That means house payment, bike payment, car payment, insurance. Well, I'll lose my insurance actually. It's basically on my bills, cell phone, everything. I don't know how I'm going to cover that. Now, I filed for state disability because my heart's not going to get any better. And since my heart's not going to get any better, I can't have my surgery on my back or neck, which my back and neck are two other things that's preventing me from being able to work. I halfway think I want to tell them to give me some tequila and put me out that way and just cut on me as they need to. Because if I gotta work, I can't do it with this back, I can't do it with this neck, and I sure can't do it with this congestive heart failure. But if they could maybe fix my back, I might be able to do some of the stuff I used to do, but not all of it. But again, I can't go back to work for restricted duty. So I'm trying for the life of me to figure out how can I be well enough to not remain on disability, but not well enough to go back to work released of restrictions, and not well enough to have surgeries done. Now it gets better. Here's where it gets better, guys. The female cardiologist that told me all this, again, I'm not going to say her name, she told me that I never had a heart echo. That's kind of like where they take and do a sonogram of your heart. Like if you're a pregnant woman, they put the thing on your belly and see what the baby is and yada yada. She said I never had one done. But yet, when I went to the hospital for a heart catheterization to see what the extent of damage was from the heart attack, it was based on the heart echo that they done. But she's telling me I never had one done. Well, I got to thinking about it, so I called the hospital. They says, yes, we're showing where you had that done. And I went up there and got it, and the thing is written in some foreign language. I can't read it. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I have no idea what I'm looking at. But I had it done, and the doctor that said I didn't have it done was the one that ordered it. Does this make sense to anybody? It doesn't to me. It doesn't to my baby sister. Now, let's go back to my back surgeon. My back surgeon said and showed me the screen that I do in fact have congestive heart failure, and that's why I can't have my back surgery. Something's not right here. Somebody's got their wires crossed or their ducks in a row or something. The guys after the June event, I don't know how much longer HomoMoto is going to be around. I'll try to keep riding and shooting you guys videos, but if the bank takes the bite, then I do have a lawyer working on this, because when she said she didn't do the echo, but I have it with her name on it, that kind of shoots her in the foot. And I have talked to an attorney, and I actually talked to a couple of attorneys. I've got an attorney for my state disability, I've got an attorney for this situation. I got to call them back Tuesday, since it's a holiday. I've got to call them back Tuesday and see what they decided. So what we're looking at doing is subpoenaing the record where she said I had congestive heart failure and showing her as a hostile witness, turning that in and basically going after, not necessarily my workplace, but possibly, but definitely going after the insurance underwriter for saying that I'm good to go back to work, and going after the doctor. I'm not one to just sue somebody, but these people are messing with my livelihood. I mean, I literally don't know what I'm going to do, and I don't beg for money. If you guys have any advice on this, just shoot me some comments or something. I'm really at a loss I probably shouldn't go to the June event, but I've already paid for the room and everything. Everything's already paid for, and I got a non-refundable room, so I'm going. I'm going regardless. If I got a hitchhike, I'm going. But like I said, the room's paid for, and Atlanta for me isn't that far, especially on this bike, 50 miles a gallon, so there's no point in me not going. I'm just very frustrated, so if any of you guys go to the Atlanta meet and see me, I'm looking a little bummed out. I'll try not to, but understand that I'm going through a lot right now. I really don't know what I'm going to do. I'm praying about it. It's definitely got me down. Well, I love y'all. Appreciate everything y'all do and say about me and everything, and roll tide.
I was a storm and I passed right over you, and I tried to eclipse the sun in the hopes that you love the tumble and spray in your face, and the sky broken by light.